Air Force One for the President of the People's Republic of China. That's what Christine Fang typed on her own resume and handed it out to an FBI undercover employee. 2 lines down on the same page. Fundraisers she hosted for Eric Swalwell. Page 26. That's where the Bureau writes the word suspected. The date will take you to now March 18th, 2013. That's the day the FBI opened the undercover operation into the orbit of a woman who was hosting fundraisers for a sitting congressman. Not a rumor, a dated page. And the Bureau's financial analysis alleges she orchestrated conduit contributions to hide a prohibited foreign national source. So here's what I'm putting on your screen tonight. The resume page, the assessment page, where the FBI writes the word suspected, and the witnesses in the same file who told agents they knew of no donations from Fang at all. Both sides, same file. So reading 400 pages of an FBI paper at 2 in the morning is how I learned my own tank was empty. And it wasn't willpower. Studies point to mitochondria as cellular batteries, the batteries that power everything, and when they drain, fatigue and slow healing follow. Red and near-infrared light therapy is one of the most well-researched tools out there. Studies show it helps cells produce more energy, reduces cellular level stress, and supports natural repair processes. Now, I dug into the science alongside health journalist Jonathan Otto before I ever plugged one in. Red Life is the company. They run 9 clinically studied wavelengths with dual chip technology, twice the power of standard devices, built to actually work. They're built like a tank. I actually own several devices. Go to myredlight.com/NNN, link in the description below. Use NNN Rep 25 for individual items, NNN Rep 30 for bundles. 30% off bundles, 25% off individual devices. Stock is limited. Now let's get back to that file, shall we? Her parents, page 16. That doesn't hedge on them at all, the way it hedges on her. The file classifies Fang's parents as known intelligence officers and says they stayed active in the campaign. So watch how carefully the document splits those 2 claims. I'm going to show you exactly where. So the FBI records, this is from the release today from the White House, chronological 0342SF. FBI EC dated 6/7/2013, San Francisco documentation developmental meeting with Rusty Thumbs. That's what they called her. Preliminary investigation initiated 2013, set to expire. Enclosure listed. Resume heavily redacted. Participants and subject names withheld. So what you're looking at on your screen here is the developmental meeting that was taking place on 6/7 of 2013. The FBI file names the names, and one of them is a fundraiser who bundled cash. Christine Fang's on resume in the file. Air China, May 2002, September 2009, served as flight attendant on Air Force One for the President of the People's Republic of China. That's how she billed herself. This is her resume, guys. This is the first time we're seeing Fang Fang's resume from the declassified FBI file. It says it right there. I'm not kidding. Served as a flight attendant on Air Force One for the President of the People's Republic of China. Served as a purser for Boeing 747s and Airbus. Served approximately 5,000 hours in the air, flew 30 countries. Selective achievements, hosting fundraising events for Swalwell. Interned for the mayor of Fremont, Bill Harrison. Recognized achievements in leadership skills by Dianne Feinstein. Volunteered for the Hubie Night at Silicon Valley event, concierge for California State Governor Jerry Brown and many VIP guests. Assisted the 40th anniversary of the ping pong diplomacy in San Francisco. with the mayor of San Francisco, Edwin Lee, torchbearer for the 9th California Chinese Sports Meetings, the largest Chinese sports meeting in Northern California, Pioneer Pride Award 2013 by California State University, East Bay. Well, well, well. Would you look at that? We got Fang Fang's resume, guys. She wasn't just a bystander. Her own resume listed the events that she ran. Dianne Feinstein's name comes there. I mean, look at this. This is a who's who. The California political elite in Democrat circles. She wasn't just a bystander. Her own resume listed the events. Air China, flight attendant, Air Force One for the communists, China. So how does a Chinese intelligence asset end up inside a congressional campaign with a timeline exactly when the Bureau knew? FBI packet page 12, Christine Fang's own resume lists her as the founder and president of the Chinese Student Association at CSU, East Bay. Cites an award from the Chinese consulate in San Francisco, the best Chinese Student Association president of the West Coast, and also lists galas organized with Mayor Lee and First Lady of San Francisco. This is the leadership page. Nothing there about Panda Express or General Chow's chicken, but I bet you she could whip up some mean orange chicken, right? Okay, I kid. The Bureau knew in 2015 Swalwell got the defense briefing and stayed on the Intelligence Committee anyway. So 2013, based on the subsequent investigation, RT has suspected MSS ties in addition to both her parents being classified as known MSS intelligence officers. FBI adds she may be able to report on MSS influence campaigns, investigative assertion, not a finding of guilt. Based on the investigation, they do have ties, both of her parents being classified as known MSS intelligence officers. In addition, RT indicated her connection to the people of influence within the PRC and a willingness to introduce these contacts to UCE. So she was bragging about her influence within the Communist Party to an undercover FBI agent. Dude, that's just crazy. And the PRC government, coupled with their continuing contact with U.S. and local government officials, RT may be able to report on MSS influence campaigns directed at the U.S. government. Damn. This went deep. This is a lot deeper than I ever could have thought. While RT continues to exhibit certain narcissistic, egotistical traits, RT is responsive to tasking and will actively blank blank. However, it should be noted that any action of tasking RT agrees to may also need to fulfill her self-interest as well. RT. What is RT? Someone in the comments hit me up. What is that? RT. What does that mean? RT. So he says he did everything right the minute the FBI knocked. Oh, well, what about before? Bureau writes the current investigation indicates subject's parents are MSS. Same memo appears to be active in assisting Congressman Swalwell's campaign. This is just too funny. I can't believe this. This is wild. Oh, Rusty Thumbs, RT. Of course, Rusty Thumbs. There it is, right at the top. That was her code name. Thank you for clarifying that, Mr. FBI document. What's RT? It's Rusty Thumbs, Franchi. Okay. In San Francisco, California, current investigation has indicated that Rusty Thumb's parents are MSS intelligence officers in addition to Rusty Thumb's personally having an MSS affiliation. Rusty Thumbs appeared amendable to accepting a contractor position within the undercover agent's company. Rusty Thumb's responsibilities will entail conducting outreach to her contacts in China, mostly in government, and possibly the contract will be finalized at a follow-up meeting. The meeting consisted mostly of rapport building and assessment. Rusty Thumbs continues to be evasive regarding her previous education. Well, why would you be evasive? In addition, Rusty Thumbs continues to be inconsistent regarding her parents' retirement status because they're active spies. Rusty Thumbs also appears to still be active in assisting U.S. Congressman Swalwell's campaign. No security or CI incidents were noted before, during, or after the meeting. At approximately 6:30 p.m. on an unknown date in 2013, undercover agent met with Rusty Thumbs at a restaurant. As previously arranged, Rusty Thumbs was punctual and dressed in an almost business-like fashion. Rusty Thumbs was friendly and open throughout the meeting. Rusty Thumbs also appeared to act more professionally as compared to the previous meeting in Las Vegas. Rusty Thumbs appears to be impressed with the restaurant venue and proceeded to order the most expensive item on the menu. Rusty Thumbs provided a resume as requested. The undercover agent and Rusty Thumbs discussed the contractor role she would have within the UCE's company. Rusty Thumbs advised most of her contacts were within the Chinese government. Did she ever talk about that with Eric when their heads were on the pillow? Or okay, I'm just not going to go there. Given the undercover agent's wish to make more friends in China. That was the angle. I want to make more friends in China, says the agent. Oh, well, I have friends in the Communist Party. We'd love to meet you. Rusty Thumbs was willing to contact the individuals on their behalf. Rusty Thumbs was also amenable to try and invite the contacts to visit the U.S. under the sponsorship of the undercover agent. Hey, we'll bring these communist spies over. You can hang out with them. Oh, but you guys got to sponsor them. Talk about. That's how the investigation went down. Developing meeting memo on Rusty Thumbs as her government contacts meant that Rusty Thumbs may be able to report on influence campaigns. Agents rated her motivations as power, in turn by money, assessment, and not proof. Assessment, not proof. So here it says she's motivated by power and in turn by money. Rusty Thumbs' involvement in political campaigns, student associations, community organizations appear to be avenues for Rusty Thumbs to gain recognition. RT, that's how they keep referring to it. Rusty Thumbs also considers being relied upon as an equivalent to being valuable in society. The appearance of luxury and fashionable dress also appears to be of importance. Based on this developmental meeting, Rusty Thumbs continues to be interested in a contractor position within the undercover agent's company. Given Rusty Thumbs' job description is somewhat ambiguous, it's a position that is well suited for her personality and goals. Rusty Thumbs, I can't believe I keep saying that, has placed a great emphasis on being relied upon, which equates to being valuable, which ultimately contributes to her happiness. The nature of this notional employment allows her to utilize her connections and may provide her with a sense of importance. Is that how it works? Kevin McCarthy pulled in from the Intel and the left screen politics. The freshman 15. Synopsis is here. So this freshman 15 interim authority. So this is the $5,000 contribution. So it goes on to discuss the 2014 opening of the assessment, converting to the full investigation into the illegal campaign contributions and a foreign national residing in the U.S. as the facilitator of the scheme to trade access to Swalwell and internships in his congressional office in return for campaign contributions. Well, didn't she also have a spy? Wasn't chief of staff a spy too? And wasn't there the connection from the previous report that or from her resume, where she was bragging about working with Feinstein. These people are all connected. It was the same op being run by the Chinese. They infiltrated Feinstein's office. They infiltrated Swalwell's office. Many of these contributions were made by foreign nationals and or utilized conduits in violation of federal law. And in 2 cases, Fang used conduits to conceal herself as a prohibited foreign national source in violation of different title statute sections. Analysis of financial records demonstrated Fang orchestrated the conduit campaign at least twice, and 2 more times in 2014. The conduits traced to Fang herself, a foreign national, which make them illegal source of contributions. Fang told Blank she could arrange a meeting with Swalwell in exchange for $5,000 contribution to Swalwell's campaign. She also stated that she could arrange for an internship within the office, but that internship would cost even more. The whole scenario redacted. Of course, remember Nancy Pelosi defended him the whole way. Investigation revealed Fang Fang, a Chinese foreign national, was the facilitator of the scheme to trade internships. Of course, Pelosi said there was nothing to see here. The FBI documents say the fundraisers were logged as an assets work product. The paper trail grows. Next, the intern Fang helped place inside the office. Swalwell said he was not aware of any campaign donations directly from Fang and never discussed contributions or any money passed through an intermediary. Swalwell not aware of campaign donations from Fang. Fang has not coordinated fundraising events, nor has she ever a formal host, although she did say she was on her resume. Swalwell recalled a large donor was introduced by Fang. Swalwell's campaign had inquired the status and advised she's a U.S. person. Swalwell was told that they live in Blank, another large owner of a winery in Sunol, California. A friend of Swalwell's has known since his time as city council. It was rare for Swalwell to physically accept a donation check. Typically, a staffer set up a check-in or registration table, which donors would provide their donation at the information required to complete a donor card, name, address, employer at the end of a quarter. The campaign finance director is responsible for reviewing all the donations to find discrepancies, track down missing information. Witnesses say they're not aware of Fang ever providing any politicians any sort of consideration in exchange for their duties. Mayors, council members, and a whole bench cultivated, and Swalwell spent those same years calling President Trump a Russian agent. Never forget that. How many clips, how many interviews did we see Swalwell? He's a Russian agent. He's a Russian spy. Meanwhile, he's being handed personal checks and getting knocks on the door in the middle of the night under Ambien. So, I mean, this just goes on and on and on. There's so much information. In a developmental meeting, an FBI undercover employee has Rusty Thumb sign a contract and non-disclosure paid in cash. Agent's report says RT then told her father worked for the PRC government department overseeing Hong Kong government, her account recorded by the FBI. Another one. San Francisco Division requests authority for confidential human source to make a bona fide campaign contribution of $1,000 to Swalwell. Wow. They use a confidential human source to make a campaign contribution to Swalwell. No way. Bona fide campaign contribution is the memo. It states DOJ Public Integrity Unit Richard Pilger concurred with the payment of this campaign contribution. Document is heavily redacted. The page does not identify the recipient, amount, or the date. The Stonewall is bipartisan when it protects a member. Next, what the counterintelligence veterans say should have happened. Evidence log, FBI records list, the U.S. Asia Institute name badge reading Miss Fang Fang. She actually had a name tag. at her U.S. Asia Institute name badge reading Miss Fang Fang, Congressman Eric Swalwell. That was recovered during a search from room G, master bedroom, gray box next to a dresser. She was walking around with name badges saying that she worked for Swalwell. FBI closing request for the operation codename Rusty Thumb states the case could be closed under administrative closing code because the investigation to date did not identify a criminal violation or a priority threat to national security. So those are the Bureau's own words out loud. Say them with me. Suspected, not confirmed, not charged. Suspected MSS ties on an investigative assertion page. Next to the resume line that Fang wrote about herself. And Eric Swalwell let her raise money for him anyway. So Eric Swalwell owes the American people a straight answer about the badge in this file. The U.S. Asia Institute exhibit with his name printed next to hers. And I want you be honest with me, because the file demands honesty. FBI suspicion is not a finding. An investigative allegation is not a conviction. A witness statement is not proof. And on page 26, the Bureau wrote that no further investigation was warranted. And that's what the record says. What the record also says is that a man who sat on the House Intelligence Committee let a woman with that resume into his fundraising world for years. Share this. And comment with a page that stopped you. Read it for yourself, because reading it yourself is the whole point around here. You see, Fang's file, it sat sealed for over a decade, Patriots. And that gap between what exists and what you're allowed to see is exactly what we close every single night with. So text White House to 844-840-4963. Next News Network sits in the White House press pool. And what we pull out of that building lands on your phone that night, whether or not YouTube feels like showing it to you. Now, some of you read these files and get restless. Good. Well, text Signal to that same number and you're in the Next News Signal Corps. Operators, assignments, and a comms grid that keeps this reporting alive no matter what this platform decides. So tomorrow, get in it and get in the room with us.